The time is now 3 o'clock. I would like to call the April 8th, 2025 Millcreek Township General Authority meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's move to number 3 on the agenda. This is public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone here to speak about anything on our agenda today? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to number 4 on the agenda, approval of the minutes. We have March 11th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Do I have any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Wardy, seconded by Mr. Ouellette. I will now call for the vote. Mr. Ouellette, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wardy, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion passes. We now have approval of the bills. Any comments or questions on the bills? Okay, can I ask for a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Motion was made by Ms. Mitchell, and it was seconded by Mr. Ouellette. And I'll call for the vote. Mr. Ouellette, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Wardy, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion passes. Next, we have communications. Up first, we have treasurer communications by Ms. Melanie Page.
I have no communications today.
Great, thank you very much. Next, we have executive director communications. That would be, I believe, Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you very much. Yes, I just have a few brief updates for everyone. Want to let everyone know who has not had a chance to go by yet that the demolition at the Bel Air is progressing very well. They have a majority of the front part of the building down. It's a little deceiving when you do go by because they've been working from the courtyard and working out. So there is, if you take a look, there's quite a bit of work that has been done. They probably will be at it for another 3 or 4 weeks, mainly having to do with just separating materials so that they can have everything separate and concrete recycled and non-recyclable items taken and disposed of. So that's moving along really well. As far as the grasshopper update, I did get communications from the contractor today. They are still working with the plumber to get the sewer capped and to finalize their permits, but they definitely will be starting before the end of April on that. They do have May 31st as a completion date, so that should be well within their time frame. And then lastly, I just would like to announce that if you recall at the last meeting, you authorized the issuance of an RFQ for developers. That is now live. Those emails have been sent out, and I believe the consultant will speak about those a little bit here. But if anybody in the general public is interested in looking at the RFQ materials or what is out there as far as questions and answers on the RFQ, you can go to www.millcreekgeneralauthority.org, and there's a link right there on that page to take you to more information about the RFQ and download the documents.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. I appreciate that. Any questions from the board? Okay, then we will move to consultant communications.
Solicitor.
Oh, I skipped over solicitor. Sorry, Mr. Peters, you'll have to take a seat. Attorney Shaw, do you have any communications for us today?
You were right in skipping over. I do not have any.
Okay. I really did not mean to skip over you.
That was a needed
And now we have
break
Mr. Peters from Altair.
Thank you. So there's 2 things that we wanted to report on. One is an extension of what Mr. Waldinger shared. The RFQ began being distributed yesterday. So a few statistics on that. Out of the thousands of emails that go out via our proprietary lists, 489 individuals, developers, brokers, architects, engineering firms, 489 opened the RFQ, 58 clicked through to get the documents. So we're off to a good start. A few things to report the Urban Land Institute, IEDC, property campaign, which is a national developer database. All three of those will go live tomorrow. I believe Mr. Waldinger shared that the legal notice will also go live tomorrow in the newspaper. So we plan on casting a wide net, as I shared a month or so ago when we reviewed the RFQ, and we're excited to start seeing results. The second thing that I wanted to talk about, any questions on that from the board? Okay. The second thing that I wanted to address is work that Tom Hardy from our office has been working on with Mr. Waldinger, the RACP process, which is quite extensive. And in the last month, what we've spent a lot of time on is getting the file structure put together on how we have to report back to the Commonwealth once the projects get going. So wanted to share that that's really where we've spent. Those two items are where we spent most of our time this month.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Great. And I have a quick question for you. Sorry, Mr. Peters. Just so that we can make the general public aware. The wide net that you have cast, this is something that is done in commercial real estate?
Yeah, I think that when municipalities or authorities are looking for development partners, it's important to get that message out to a wide constituency. So, a lot of times if it's a piece of real estate that's for sale, for example, you might just send it to a broker group. But when you're doing a redevelopment project like this, where you've assembled a significant amount of land, and now you're talking about, doing a development that's consistent with Embrace Millcreek and the Presque Isle Gateway District Plan, it's important to cast a much wider net. Architects know developers. So the reason we have, a pretty extensive list of those architects is because they may say, oh, I worked with this developer that might fit this. Certainly the brokerage community, the commercial brokerage community is important to get this message out to a lot of, here locally, there's a lot of names that you all would know that the message went to, but certainly from many, many years of doing this, we like to send this type of information out to brokers well beyond Erie. And then of course, the developers themselves. There are certain developers that may be large enough that they have their own engineering and architecture, and so making sure we hit them directly is important. And that's why we send to that large group. Now, there's literally thousands of addresses that this gets sent to, email addresses. Ultimately, I think that, if we're at 58 right now, of people that have clicked through to express their interest, I'd imagine there'll end up being a couple of hundred. And of those couple of hundred, you have to think of it like any other funnel. We're starting with this wide gathering spot, and then it's going to trickle down to the folks that say, yes, I do this type of development. Yes, I do this type of development in the Northeast. Yes, I'm familiar with this individual market of the Erie Metropolitan Statistical Area, and they start to see those elements that make them really interested. At the end of the day, I think I shared this a couple of meetings ago, that if we ended up with 5 or 6 developers that were really truly interested, that'd be a great answer.
Great.
This is not only for the benefit of the developer, but the entire process is to ensure that we're getting quality people that are applying. So from our standpoint, it's a vetting process. We're ensuring that we have the right people coming to you and ultimately looking at the project versus just anybody throwing their hat into the ring, correct?
Yeah, that's fair. A project of this type requires a lot of expertise. The township, when Embrace Millcreek got done and then the Presque Isle Gateway District Plan got done, they talked about, the need for sort of, for lack of better terms, a main street for Millcreek. And what that means is that there are certain types of development that the township's not interested in. And so, it's important that you have a process like this to make sure that the developer that comes along says, yes, I understand that you have 0 lot lines and you're creating a pedestrian friendly location. You want sidewalks, bicycle infrastructure. You want mixed use with maybe housing and maybe some supporting retail and maybe some housing. So, or hospitality, pardon me. So yes, it is, Mr. Wardy, it's about making sure that we get the types of developers that not only have the financial wherewithal, but also have an understanding of what we want on the site. So the one other thing I wanted to share is that Mr. Waldinger and I did review local folks that may have expressed interest in one way or another in the project. And whether or not they were developers or not developers, we did share with them the RFQ as well, because some of them may have developer friends. It may be there were some business people that had interest, and so maybe they'll want to take a stab at the development. So I just wanted to make sure that the board knew that we did, this wide net that we cast wasn't just to, large developers.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Mitchell, do you have any questions?
I do not. Thank you very much, Mr. Peters.
Thank you all.
Thank you, and thank you to Ms. Murdoch, who is also here today as well, for all the hard work that you've been doing. Okay, citizens to be heard.
So, I know I've said this before, but you guys tend to slip into acronyms. RFQ is request for
Qualifications.
Which
Sorry.
no one stated first. So I'm sitting here
Sorry.
going, RFQ, what the heck's that?
Yes. So like
as
an RFP, request for proposal, RFQ, request for qualifications. So, thank you.
I wasn't sure.
Sorry about that, Dennis.
No, I just,
I know.
lots of people slip into acronyms, which is well and good, but you should, as an English teacher, know better.
Yep, the audience doesn't know.
That you shouldn't assume we know. As a lay citizen or whatever, so the RFQ, not to compare things, but is that's to ensure that you're getting someone that knows what they're doing. Unlike maybe not to throw salt in people's wounds, but the plastic recycling thing, that $300 million plan that vanished with all the money and no one seems to know what's going on. Is that hopefully to prevent our Millcreek Township dollars from disappearing?
Yeah, and I won't speak to the plastics plant, but yes, the idea behind the qualifications is that you have a pool of developers that have for lack of a better term, proven track record, that have done projects similar to this, that have the experience, as Mr. Peters said, realize the township's requirements and what we're looking for in the district, as well as having the capital and the resources in order to bring the project home. So just to kind of complete the thought, after the RFQ, the qualifications, and we have a pool of developers that can do the project, then we would go out with a request for proposals from those developers to be more specific about what they would do, and then we can evaluate those. But knowing that all proposals that we receive are viable and can be done.
I mean, I think you guys have been doing a great job making sure we're getting the value for the dollars that a lot of people said were never going to be able to be spent or way overspent or cost a money pit. I think you guys are doing a very good job assuring it's all accounted for. And I'm not comparing, but it drives me nuts when over and over in Erie County that you get a lot of these huge, like I'm still looking for the juice plant and the money for the plastic recycling and all this money just seems to magically keep disappearing. The railroad transition station and I just don't want us to get caught in that trap, because I think the Millcreek Township citizens would be really bent out of shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I'm justifying the county either, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. We'll be better with our acronyms. Any other citizens to be heard? Okay, then we actually are going to be going into executive session, but I think we'll adjourn first. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Waldinger?
Yes, there's no need for a vote. There's just some informational items for the executive session. So could adjourn.
Okay, okay. All right. Anything further from the board? The esteemed board? Esteemed Lordy, anything? Okay, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
And we will call for the vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Wardy?
Yes.
And I vote yes, and we are adjourned at 3:15 p.m. Have a wonderful day.